Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Going to have a little fun in sports today with a story that we're going to test Kenzie and have her watch a video along with something that you've probably seen come across your timeline. Here we go.
The Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
A viral video of a runner in Virginia, a high school track meet, and this runner was running around and, of course, passing the baton. So when you see a relay race, they got to pass the baton to their own person, and it keeps going and going and going.
And I will say, not an easy thing to do. To hand somebody something while running, and the other person is running away from you, if you've never done it, harder than it looks.
Have you done
Very
it?
hard.
You've never done it?
No, I did.
You did. You're such a liar.
Why would I lie about running track and field? The problem is I ran track and field, but I'm slow as a mule. It was not a successful endeavor.
That's right. But you hesitated when I said, have you done it? You gave this little stumble, like, it's really hard. I don't know if it's that bad.
It's really hard. I know from experience. I'm slow and uncoordinated.
You know what sucks with the other person that you have to hand it to is really fast, and you're like, okay, now I'm just chasing you. For the love of God.
Come
I'm
on
not
back.
as fast as you.
Come on back. Come on back. Hey.
Beep, beep.
Yeah, it's wild because they have to pass it in a certain amount of yards or it doesn't count. And then people drop the stick, and boy, they hate you after you drop the stick. Again, I am not claiming. Running track sounded like the most miserable thing to do ever.
I can't believe I did it because it was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I told you I did one sport each year just in case I was magically talented. I wanted to find out. Never was, but never happened. But I tried it each year. So I tried track and field one year, and it was horrible. Because guess what practice is? You just run. Everything's running.
It's just, I remember playing basketball, and it was always like to run to get in shape for the season. You run to get in shape for running.
I know.
Good Lord. Running is terrible. It's just so
What
bad.
we're going to do today, we probably run around this track. Yup.
When I would have to run for basketball, I'd be 3 minutes in and I'd start hyperventilating because I'd be so scared I was going to pass out from running.
I'll tell you what, the real crazy kids were the cross-country kids, though, where it's like, hey, go practice doing, 17 miles. They were nuts.
And 0% body fat on those kids, too. It's just the leanest guy you've ever seen.
Never understood it.
Wasn't one of those, was I?
You got those little legs.
One of the few things we're all in agreement on, that running sucks.
Oh, no, that's my preferred exercise.
What?
Running?
I like cardio. Yeah, I don't lift weights when I go
You
to the gym.
like
I run.
cardio.
Yeah.
That's another
offense.
fallacy as well. You don't like cardio.
No offense, but what?
No offense, but I'm not going to run into you and go, that guy loves cardio.
I didn't say I do it. I said I like it.
Oh.
You said you love it, and normally people do things that they love.
We'll have to go back to the tape later to see if he said, love it.
He goes, I love cardio. It's my preferred, okay.
But it is. I'm not going to the gym to pump iron. I'm going to get a little run on the elliptical.
Oh, I'd
You
rather
could have
have
ended the
weights.
sentence at, I'm not going to the gym.
Yeah.
You could have put a dot right there.
So back to the story. This Virginia high school track meet, this track and field runner, and the video is this girl running, and she violently smashes her baton that she's supposed to pass to her own opponent, or into her own teammate, into an opponent's head during the race.
No.
And it's wild, this video. It's unbelievable. And it looks like she's bashing the girl next to her in the head with the baton instead
Was
of passing
that girl
it.
beating her in the race?
She was coming up on the inside, and they got a little close, and then she just started, as you run, your arms are going, and then she starts batting the girl in the head. It's very rough. And we have actually the audio of, first, it's the girl that got hit in the head, and then it's caused a lot of backlash with the girl that hit her. She said it was an accident, and she's apologizing, crying. I feel bad because these are teenage girls, but now what we're going to do is we're going to test Kenzie.
We're going to play this audio.
But Kenzie's going to watch the video in a second. She's not seen it.
I have not seen this. And Case texted me yesterday and said I'm not allowed to watch it. I have to scroll past it.
Because I saw the video and Brian saw the video, and we were like, well, that's sports tomorrow. This is a story that writes itself. But I think it's important, Kenzie, that you almost go in reverse order here, that you hear what the girls had to say about the incident, and then you watch the incident.
And then Kenzie will be the final judge whether it was an accident or intentional. So first is the girl talking who got hit, and she's saying what happened. Then the girl crying is the one who hit her apologizing.
Okay.
Bang on my head, and then I fell off the track immediately.
The whole Coliseum pretty much gasped. I just jumped up out of the bleachers immediately and ran to her on the main floor to see.
That's her mom saying that. I want to help my daughter.
That they kept running and she not stop and check on my daughter. That was the part where I was like, it couldn't have been an accident.
So that's the mom saying, could have been an accident. They didn't stop running, didn't check on her.
It is a race after all. I wouldn't stop either.
Well, especially if you weren't the one who beat her with a baton, you may have thought she tripped. You know,
true,
like you would think that, like if you were just running as fast as you can.
But there's those beautiful moments when someone doesn't make it and somebody stops and helps the person across the finish line. They're heartwarming. They're like those military dog videos you see when the guy comes at the airport. I start bawling. I'm like, this person gave up the gold medal to help this other person across the line that's not going to win.
I don't mean to be a bad influence on the youth of Chicagoland.
Yes, you do.
I hate sportsmanship, and I do not like videos of athletes helping each other in any way, shape, or form.
You're like Vince Lombardi. Show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser.
Amen, brother.
None of that's good. What just happened?
Okay, so you heard the part
good.
of the girl getting hit, and her mom ran out there instantly. Now here's the girl that hit her with the baton and saying it was an accident.
After a couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this, and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit. But I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose. Everybody has feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right? They're going off of one angle.
Yeah, so, listen, very sensitive, very heartwarming. The girl's trying to say, I'm not this bad person. People are making out to me. She's probably getting horrible things to her on social media. Stop that. Anybody's doing that. Maybe our own Chicagoans.
I get it. People write me mean things just because I'm like alive. I'm like in my house.
Wait, in your house they're coming from?
Kenzie.
It's Tristan from his bedroom DMing you?
No,
Mom!
Tristan loves me. That's not a problem.
Mom, dinner
But
sucked.
people are just like, you know what you should be doing? You should buy a nicer antenna. I get it.
Okay, Kenzie, so you've heard both sides. It sounds, very sincere. The girl said it was an accident.
Well, even the mom said could have been an accident. So,
Okay. So now you be first watch here live on
I'm
the
gonna
air.
click on the video.
That's right. The video is on the Clown World Twitter account. Obviously, a news source for us all at Clown World on Twitter.
Okay, there's more sources than that.
That's the one that I sent Kenzie.
So, Kenzie, are you watching?
Damn. Wound up a couple times. Wait a minute. Hold up.
Rewatch it again. We'll give you some time here. I'm just going to give you just let it sink in. Watching the video of the girl with the baton hitting the other girl in the head. And
They're running.
Wow. I gotta be honest. I heard the apology. I'm not seeing what she described personally. She was like, well, it got stuck on her back. She kind of just whapped her in the back 3 times. I didn't see it get stuck once.
It moved freely is what you're saying. It's the swinging motion back and to the left. Back
And I'll tell you
and to
what.
the left.
And yeah, I mean, it just looked like she hit her with a bat, is what it looked like.
Those batons are no joke.
And I'll tell you what, and I know that the only thing I'm going to say in defense of it is that when something happens that's shocking, you never know how you're going to react. Like, a lot of times we react wrong when you're really surprised by something. But it would have spoke volumes if she stopped to help, because then it would have looked like, to continue to run made it look like maybe you did it on, because you knew. Other runners didn't know what happened. They're all watching, right? They thought she tripped, got sick, whatever. You knew that your baton just hit her a lot. So if it was an accident, you would think that you'd be like, oh no, this is my fault. I'm going to stop.
Okay, so Tom and Berwyn just checked in, and Tom wants to know, and all of Berwyn wants to know if you think it was intentional or not, your first watch.
I would have dragged her. If she hit me with a baton like that, there would have been a fight on the sidelines.
So you're saying you think it was intentional, Kenzie?
All I know is that I would have took it personal if it were me.
You're not answering the question. Do you think it was intentional?
You know what? I don't want to contribute to a 16-year-old girl getting bullied more.
Okay.
I'm just saying the video's not great.
What you're saying is you
great.
would have taken it as intentional if you were the victim.
If I were the victim, I would take it intentional.
Tom,
But
What are you running for office?
I know.
What is this?
I feel guilty because in my eyes, the 5%, 95% chance that was intentional, 5% not. In case it's the 5%, I don't want to see the girl go off the deep end or anything.
Understood. It's very, very considerate. Tom and Berwin, I hope that was a satisfactory answer for you.
But I would have taken it personally. Call me Michael Jordan.
Now, I found on Daily Mail they hired a lip reader to watch the tape and see if they could see what was said during the running. So I can't verify this is 100% accurate or true. But what they said, that the woman, the young lady with the baton hitting the other girl, what she said, her name is Nicola.
Die, bitch? Is that what she said?
Well, not far off. So the lip reader said that while she was swinging the baton at the other girl, she read her lips saying, "Get off," and "Hey-o." Hey-o.
Hey-o.
She said, "Hey-o," maybe on the hit. Like, "Hey-o."
Hey. What is she, the Fonz? Beating her up?
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we have a programming announcement of the show to talk about. We have Billy Corrigan coming up at 8. That is no problem. We've got a way to talk to him. And we have Mumford & Sons at 7:35, an incredible experience to not only get tickets to the show at Chicago Theater, but you will meet Mumford & Sons. Those two things in the next 50 minutes are ridiculous. What is not ridiculous, or is ridiculous actually, is
Actually, it is ridiculous.
our phone lines just went down. Our phone lines have gone down for whatever reason. We're not sure. It feels like it's 1947. Breaking news, Q101 cannot take calls because the phones went down.
A day that will live in infamy.
Oh, the humanity. So we can't take a competitor right at the moment for Clash with Kenzie, which is kind of rough. Now, we thought maybe we could do it by text or something, but it's not going to work. It's just it'll take forever. And we can't really set up a Zoom or a Google call with you on the Kennedy right now. I don't want anybody dying
But
there.
listen, we're going to send you a Teams link.
Yeah.
Fine. Nobody worry.
Yeah.
So log in.
So we have something else wonderful planned next. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Something really
Something
fun.
else wonderful.
Something else wonderful.
Willy Wonka over here.
Look, we throw away so much content every day. I got extras. We got extra stuff right here. We got extra content. Okay? So that's coming up here in just 10 minutes. Hang tight. No Clash with Kenzie today. We will have, of course, returning tomorrow when our phone lines return from the 1800s when they work. It'll be great.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, so I decided that the Q101 phone lines are going on Piece of Garbage Madness.
I can put that on the list.
Add it up. Because we've got a problem this morning that we have no phone lines for Clash with Kenzie. Now, the text line is working fine. We have Billy Corrigan coming up at 8. We have a way to talk to him. It's going to be fine. And with the Mumford & Sons tickets and to meet them at 7:35, that's coming up with a Song Scramble. We figured that out, too, with the text line. We figured out all the problems except for doing Clash with Kenzie. Now, Orlando checked in and said, "I'm all down for doing a Zoom. I'm in the passenger seat."
The amount of people who were like, "I volunteer as tribute," they're like, "I'm at the office right now." I'm like, you can't do that.
I'm in the passenger seat.
Yeah, love you guys. Love the effort to compete. We'll just take a pass on
Lots
it.
of Zoom nominees.
Yeah, a lot of
Lots.
One day we can take a pass on Clash with Kenzie. It is well loved, of course. So in the meantime, here is something I want to get to in sports with Piece of Garbage Madness is nominating our phone lines. They're on there. So next Thursday, the March Madness basketball tournament begins. Now, we coincide with that Piece of Garbage Madness. We've been doing this for years, and it's well-loved. Last year's winner was Tiffany Henyard, the Dalton mayor. She was a number 1 overall seed, and she also lived up to that by winning the whole tournament. If you're new to the show, what we do is we take nominations right now. You text 312-591-8300, and somebody who has been a piece of garbage in the last year only. Don't go back 3 years, 4 years. It's got to be in the last year. It can be people or things. We have a couple rules. No national politicians. Now, we've got Tiffany Henyard, or it can be, local people. No national politicians. You know what I'm talking about.
Settle down.
You know what I'm talking about.
And also, no really, really evil people, murderers. I'm still on the fence. I don't think we can put Diddy in.
I was just about to say, I think.
Hey, that was my nomination.
I know.
And by the way, Kenzie, we agree Diddy, not good.
Yeah.
Also doesn't necessarily fit the spirit of Piece of Garbage Madness. It's tough to have Diddy on the same list as, say, people who call Twitter X or the price of eggs.
But wouldn't it be funny if that won over?
Well, that is the fun of Piece of Garbage Madness, what beats other things. I just think people of conscience might not say...
You're like, speaking of beating, no Diddy.
Yeah.
Not good.
People might not say, Perry Farrell's worse than Diddy, who was already on one of the nominees. So just keep it in that spirit. Like, we'll go over some of them. First of all of our sports teams are going in at different seedings, depending how bad they were. I mean, the White Sox were the worst team in baseball history. I have a feeling going to be a pretty high seed. Maybe a 1 seed.
Maybe.
The committee decides this, by the way. There's a committee that decides the seeding and where they place in brackets. There's things like the Huck to a meme coin. Mm-hmm. You have Jonas from Twister being nominated is incredible. I love that got in there.
Jonas, son of a bitch.
Now, there's not for sure. There's only 64, just like there is in the tournament. So none of these are guaranteed in, but these are some of the nominations. The movie Joker 2, what a great nomination.
Yeah, right?
Everybody looked forward to it. Boy, was it a disaster. And then, again, text in 312-591-8300. Again, I have a lot of my personal favorites. Kenzie does too. Case, do you have any you want to add to the list this morning?
Yeah. Do you want me to do it right now? I want to rapid fire a list.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right, I've got a few of these here. Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, very nice.
The Paul brothers, Jake and Logan. I just think we've passed the need for
As
their
a whole?
existence.
Just in general?
We've got to put them their existence is on the list.
Now, what's funny when we do this and what's really fun is I could put them in the same bracket, in the same region, and then you have to decide which one's worse if they face each other, maybe in the first round.
The problem is I don't know the difference. And my son is like, which one fought Tyson?
Jake Paul.
Okay,
that
so
right?
I said the other one.
Oh, wait, was it Logan?
Hold on, who fought Tyson?
It was Jake, I believe.
I don't know.
It
So
was
I
Jake
said
Paul.
It was Jake.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, because he was talking about them because he's 10, so they do that. They just be talking about them. And I was like, oh, Logan's fighting. He goes, isn't it Jake? I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know the difference at all. I can't keep up.
I like the spirit of the nominations. Keep them coming in. I even just checked it and said, Brian buying a bunch of Oasis tickets and giving Kenzie none of them.
Wow, that's a good one.
That is memorable.
Thanos. Brian being Thanos with Oasis tickets. for his purses and leg room and...
I've got a few more here. The Outlook search function. If you've ever tried to find something on your Outlook email, you can't search for it. It's a nightmare.
That seems a bit personal. Are we doing
point.
this?
Yeah.
Because my husband pissed me off a few weeks ago. Can I throw that?
I disagree. I think the Outlook search function is universal.
But the photo update on the iPhone should be on there.
Okay, photo update on the iPhone. I think canola oil should be on there. I think Brat Summers should be
Whoa,
on
slow
there.
down, slow down.
Canola oil.
Why is canola oil?
Case.
Isn't that the one that's bad for you? Which is the oil that's bad for you?
You don't even know. Like the Paul brothers. You can't do this.
Wait, is canola oil bad for you?
What's the one that everybody's like, oh, you shouldn't eat that on TikTok?
Okay, here's the thing. Canola oil is a good source of vitamin E and K.
What's the oil I'm thinking of?
Are you just raw dogging this right now? You didn't look up anything.
No. I've got a whole list. But what's the bad oil?
They say seed oils are bad. I've heard that.
Where's crew member Dakota when you need her? She knows the difference between all the oils.
One of her friends just had a baby. I think she's busy this morning.
There's a bad oil out there. It must not be canola oil.
Okay, I'll tell you, give me more of your list in a second. And I want to go to the text line at 312-591-8300. After the White Stripes, these are nominations for Piece of Garbage Madness. People and things that have been pieces of garbage in the last year. Narrow it down. We'll put them in a bracket. They'll all compete for a champion starting next week with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, well, we got a lot of new fun nominations here for Piece of Garbage Madness. Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And essentially the bracket that I'll have put together by next Thursday. And there'll be about 4 matchups a day. So you have to make sure for sure right now that you are following us on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook, because that's where I'm going to put up all the polls of each matchup. That's how we do it. You decide who wins and who advances. I didn't really maybe make that clear. With all these nominations of people and things that have been pieces of garbage, they are seated, they are placed in brackets, and then you decide the champion, like last year, Tiffany Henyard, the number 1 overall seed, and taking the title home.
So my question with Tiffany Henry, since she was on there last year, and there's a very good chance she'd come back as a number 1 seed again, is do we just put her on there, or do we put things she's done on there? Like more than one thing, like her ice rink nobody got to use as an example.
That should be on there.
Or buses, public transportation that was shut down for people to use, but would still bring them to her event nights.
We may have to make a separate Tiffany Henyard bracket.
That's true. She can be your whole region.
She's got 64 things. Yeah, the Tiffany Henyard region to see what comes out of there.
It's just a thought. It's something to canoodle on. If we just put down different activities she's
1,000%. Case, what's come through on the text line in that last end of the song there?
Oh, man, there's been so many good ones. Kevin Stefanski, I think, has to be on that list. The cloud strike outage, specifically that prevented Brian from flying to Nashville a few months ago.
Yes.
That is one that's going to be on the list. The company that kept the monkeys in the cages.
Amen.
Oh, wow.
Now, I would argue the monkeys should also be on that list.
Case is afraid of the monkeys.
They did nothing.
Brian, remind people what that was, the company that kept the monkeys in the cages.
That was in North Carolina. Was it Sega Genesis or something? It was
NBA Jam 98.
It was something Genesis, the company that kept the monkeys.
Was it Alpha Genesis? That sounds fake. That sounds like a movie company.
Well, what they did is they kept the monkeys for experimenting, and then the monkeys escaped, and then they moved it. One of them even got to Illinois. They kept talking about everybody's going to be safe. They're not rabid, dangerous monkeys.
It was the Alpha Genesis Primate Research Center.
That's a long thing.
What an evil sounding company.
It doesn't sound great on paper. It's not good. Now I have to ask two things. One, I don't know what this means. Somebody just texted in Brandon Johnson's haircut. I don't know what that means. If he got did he get an offensive haircut? I don't know about.
I would argue it's the thing he has going for him most. I think he's got a nice head of hair.
I have no problems
not
with his
much.
hair. I have no problems. But somebody is saying, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. I don't know if you guys have kept up with This Ends With Us. I have.
Oh, no, they've got to be on there. Absolutely. Oh. I follow that story religiously.
Kenzie, in 30 seconds or less.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to hold you to that.
This is like my Super Bowl. Hold on.
Can you explain to me what's happening with Blake Lively? Because I'm too stupid to understand it. 30 seconds or less.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
This is hard.
Justin Baldoni was Blake Lively's co-star in the movie This Ends With Us, which was a book adaptation with a huge following. It was about domestic violence, okay? Justin Baldoni bought the rights to the movie, wrote it, spent years working on it. Blake Lively joins the cast and starts taking over the entire movie. After they positively worked together for a few years, she starts turning really negative out of nowhere. People believe it's because she caught feelings for him, and Ryan Reynolds found out.
Okay, 15
seconds. At the end of all of it, she is now suing Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment and saying that all this video footage exists. However, the video footage that she thought didn't have sound actually has sound, and the sound is not matching up to her complaints.
There's the alarm.
She did it. Even with you interrupting, she did it.
Yeah, why would you interrupt? Very rude when I only have 30 seconds.
All right, listen. Keep these
Put that on piece of garbage.
Case interrupting. Please put these nominations at 312-591-8300. Text, because our phones are down. And coming up in just 3 minutes, we have your chance to go to the Mumford & Sons show, the sold-out show at the Chicago Theater. You will meet Mumford & Sons. It's coming up after Noah Khan.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.